I've heard it said of Leviathan that it's a rip-off of Alien, The Abyss, and The Thing. And after watching it, I can say that's slightly unfair because, The Abyss was set at the bottom of the sea, and so was Leviathan, but so were a shitload of films released around 1989. So, I can't. You can't just claim the sea. Any film set on the sea floor is a rip-off of The Abyss. Because there was loads of them. And it's unsafe to call it a rip-off of Alien because, the Alien was a film about a monster that had a bunch of humans in an isolated location. And, that's a really, really common old plot device. Like Dracula, let's say. It is, however, a huge rip-off of John Carpenter's The Thing. Massively so. Except, of course, it's crapper. The monster engages in all the body horror antics that the Thing engaged in, infecting people and melting them and sticking them together and stuff and having random appendages and stuff. With a fishy theme though, because we're underwater and it's adapting to its environment or something. It is a lot stupider than the Thing though. It wears its monster skin all the time. The one cool thing about the Thing is it could hide in human shape, and this thing doesn't seem interested in that at all. Robocop's in it as Kurt Russell's character from The Thing. He's the guy who actually fights the monster and stuff and does it effectively and doesn't get killed and such like. Winston from Ghostbusters plays the part of the black guy from The Thing, and in much the same way, him and Robocop are the last people to survive, except this is more of a mainstreamy kind of horror film, so there's a female love interest as well that survives. And so Winston from Ghostbusters gets killed at the very end, and the woman and Robocop escape. The General from Rambo plays Blair from The Thing. The doctor who figures, stuff out first and then goes crazy without, telling people exactly why he's going crazy and ruins their chances of escape by destroying communication equipment. Yep, the doctor in this does all that too, in more or less the exact same order. He even has one of those magic talking computers that Blair had from, not talking computers, but the one where you just type in a question and it gives you an answer. Just, a black screen and you can ask it anything. There's one of those in this film too, except this was filmed 7 years later, so it has voice recognition tech. Rambo General can just talk to his computer and it can give answers based on nothing because they didn't understand computers back in the 80s. In The Thing, you could make a case for the characters running around with flamethrowers because it was set in the Arctic. They could, use flamethrowers to maybe unfreeze equipment or something. It's a bit of a stretch, but you can get away with it. But this film is set at the bottom of the sea. So when Robocop and Winston from Ghostbusters are running around with these weird-looking flamethrowers in a set that looks like some random set from Alien, why do they have flamethrowers? What part of an underwater mining rig would you need flamethrowers? Because, they wouldn't work in the sea, and I can't imagine anything you need them for in the enclosed, airtight environment. When I was watching this film, I was trying to figure out if I hadn't seen The Thing, would this film seem good? And I don't know. I mean, the sets and the props and the special effects all look good. I couldn't figure out whether the underwater scenes were actually filmed underwater or just, with blue smoke that made the air look murky or whatever. But just the way people act in this film and the stuff they do. There's this ridiculous sequence in it where the Robocop and Rambo Doc come in and they see the burglar from Home Alone that wasn't Joe Pesci and some red-haired chick, and their corpses have stuck together and are now one corpse, and they're all twitching around the place and moving and stuff. Not dead in any way, where previously the doctor had affirmed that they were dead. So they put the twitching, living, whatever it is, in a plastic bag and then make people carry it from A to B. I don't know how they thought that could have ended well. It breaks out of the bag and it slashes one of the other characters and everyone's screaming and... I'd be really angry at them if they tried to make me carry that from A to B. So then after that, it's all kind of by the numbers until, the crew is down to Winston, Robocop, and Robocop's love interest, and then they escape the monster and they kill the monster, and then the monster comes back for a last scare, and then Robocop steals a sequence from Jaws and blows up its face by throwing an explosive into its mouth. Robocop plus woman are escaping in a helicopter, and you're like, oh, why is the film not ending yet? And then they land on an oil rig, and You know, there's the evil corporate woman that screwed over them somehow, you know, by not letting them escape when they could have escaped because, you know, it would look bad for the stock market thing. You know, she was kind of a pointless addition because there was already a monster and stuff. But anyway, Robocop punches her in the face really hard, and it's kind of unexpected because you kind of wanted it to happen, but you didn't expect it, and that's the best bit in the film. But you have to watch the entire film to get there, or you know, click this link.